Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. Hey, I didn't think I want to say that. I think I wanted to say, hey, hey, hey. Does anybody recognize that guy? Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, it's Fat Albert. So right now I'm Fat Big Canucker. Okay, we're going to have a look at something here happening right away. But before we get to that, just want to do a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of cleanup. I gotta say, I did my draw for 1,000 subscribers of this beautiful, fantastic Extremer Ratio Scout 1. And I'm sorry, Mr. Joe Ziegler, I gave you till Sunday to send me your email address. Did not find it, did not hear enough from you. So I hope everything's going okay with you in your world. But we have to go move forward and do another draw. So rather than a subscriber draw, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to do a comment draw through the comment picker for this particular video. It's going to go probably till Friday. After Friday, I'm going to shut it off and do a video where I do a comment pick. And so what I want to do is I want to do something that makes you happy within your EDC world. Whether it's a knife, whether it's a flashlight, whether it's a wallet. It's just something that you carry every day that makes you smile, whether it's got some sentimental value, whether you love it. If you got something that's really interesting, I'd love to hear a little interesting story, but no need to leave a story if you don't want to. I would appreciate it if you leave why you love that particular item or why that might have makes you smile. So that's what the comment is going to be in this particular video. So this light here is the Olight Perun 2, and it makes me smile. I really like this little light, and that would be something that I would pick because I'm carrying this all the time. And the reason I really like this is, A, it's quite handy. It's a great little light, but I love the purple color. The purple is my favorite color, and you know what? I don't care what people say. I like purple. So, all right, so what we want to do is let's go to the tabletop. We'll have a look at this Perun 2, and please don't forget to leave your comment because on this weekend, or this next coming up weekend, I'll do the draw and then I'll announce Monday who the winner is. All right, so let's go. Okay, so the reason I have this box here is because I really, really like the packaging that the Olight Perun came to in. So this was a new in the box. I bought it off Kijiji. It was a fellow by the name of Tim out in Winnipeg. He is a big seller on Kijiji, and he sells especially a lot of Olight products. So I will leave a link to his little, I guess, his Kijiji username and stuff like that. I'll leave a link in the description, and you can check out his other Olight products. He's willing to ship across Canada. I happened to meet him in Winnipeg, and he actually met me at a McDonald's way in the hell out there, and in the middle of Timbuktu, Winnipeg, and we did the deal. And he was a great guy, really, really knowledgeable too as well. And he's just like us knife folks. He got into flashlights, and then it became a disease. And in order to have all these flashlights, he buys and sells these like crazy. So if you want an Olight product, Tim's the guy to buy it from. All right, so let's put that aside. And I really think this is quite neat. And the reason the packaging is on here is because there's just a little warning. When you put the battery in there, it's got a little tab on it to tells you that. I think that a product that comes in a great packaging just completely adds to the experience. If you're an Apple fanboy like me too as well, my new phones, iPads, anything that's come Apple, the packaging on it is it's an event unto itself to open it up. And I was really impressed with this packaging here. It's got the magnetic box on it. And it's also here. Inside here is a little box. In it came the lanyard. It also came the charging unit here. But what also was in here, which I thought was really, really neat, and I'm going to use it in other things, is this little tiny hook. Because this is such a little opening here where you put the lanyard, and I guess maybe it's kind of a pain to put it in. I ended up, it was quite easy. I ended up just taking this lanyard and kind of biting it in my teeth and putting a crimp in it, and then I kind of threaded it through there. But you can use this little tiny hook to put on your lanyard. And I think it's fantastic that they designed something like that. Whether they had a complaint from their customers, they listened, or just overall damn good engineering. And if they do something like that in something so insignificant as the lanyard, what are the guts going to be like? That's just I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. And Olight, hey, big thumbs up, guys. Okay, so let's have a look at this. I forgot to find my Perun 2 page so I can get all my stuff on it. Perun 2. Oh, hopefully it pops up. There we go. Okay, so this is a special edition. It's currently sold out in Olight Canada right now. Might be available in the States, but if you have the opportunity to buy this little purple one, and you like purple, you know, fantastic. If not, this does come also in black and orange. So the black one is just a regular priced one, and you'll save yourself a few bucks. So this is $134 in Canada, and the one that's not special edition purple is $119. So if you don't care about the purple and black is fine with you, save yourself a few bucks. The stats on there are identical. Okay, so if you have a look here, you can see that this starts off with, there's 4 different levels on here. There's a Moonlight level, and that is 5 lumens, and that will last you 12 and a half days. That's an awful lot of time to be able to have this light going. So 12 and a half days at 5 lumens, and 5 lumens is a really, really decent light if you're in a dark room or a tent or a car and you need to just find something. 5 lumens is a really usable amount of light. You're not going to disturb your partner if you're going to look for your glass of water in the middle of the night. So at 5 lumens and 12 and a half days, holy cow. Now the next step is 30 lumens, and that's 66 hours, which is, you know, roughly 2.5 days or so. And then you've got 120 lumens at 18 hours, and that's, you know, almost 3/4 of a day. You've got the light mode here at 500 lumens. That's 270 minutes, which is, you know, 2.5 hours roughly. And then, of course, you've got the maximum or turbo of 2,500 lumens. And that'll only go for 2 minutes. And then it steps down the light to 800 lumens, which gives you 175 minutes at that. So at the max brightness, you've got 177 minutes, which is an hour and a half at max brightness. I don't think you can go wrong with that. And now part of the reason you're going to be able to get that kind of light that's possible is the fact that it's got a really big battery in here. This is a big monster Olight manufactured. Now, who knows if Olight makes it, but it's Olight. It's got the name on it. It's 4,000 milliamp hours, 3.6 volt. It's a 21700 battery. That's a monster. Now, just to give you an idea, here, I don't have an 18650 with me, but there's an 18500 battery that's an E-Fest. You can see where it's, and this one here is 1,000 milliamp hours. So, you know, you've got, you know, this is, you know, 4,000 milliamp hours, 1,000 milliamp hours. That's why you've got such nice longevity with that light. And so you can see also that it's got the O-ring here. So it is, it's got some waterproof factor to it too as well. Let's kind of close that up here. And if you actually make sure you bottom it out here. There we go. Is it working? There we go. There's your 5 mil for your Moonlight Mode. I don't know if you can tell there. And so we'll just turn it off there. All right, so going over this a little bit more. Like I said, this is the purple gradient with the blue that it, you know, travels throughout and then becomes purple. I think that's so cool. On here, I've got the lanyard here, and the lanyard is adjustable, so it doesn't just, you know, fit on top of your wrist. You can actually kind of close it up too as well, which is another little handy design thing from Olight. If you have a look here, this is the pocket clip, and it's actually a two-way pocket clip. You can see that you can put it in there, or you can put it underneath there. Just really, really handy. Now, I use this for camping. That's where I've used it for. I also used it because I had a busted pipe in my house, and this was so handy. Now, I take this, and I just basically take it, and I just kind of set it inside my jacket and the V there, or any sort of shirt, and then I can walk hands-free with this. Does a great job. And it is, you know, it's not so super heavy, you know, in itself. So it is 5.68 ounce. You know, it is just about as heavy as your average, you know, cold steel knife out there. A waterproof level is IPX8, which I do believe that you could submerge this up until 1 meters for 30 minutes. So that's, you know, I think that's pretty damn good. Length is 4.75 inches, so not quite 5 inches. Head diameter is 1.13 inches or 28 millimeters, and your body diameter is 1.06 or 27, so just a little bit bigger than an inch. And so it is just a great size light. Now, the charging on here, this is one of the bonuses, or one of the pluses and one of the minuses at the same time. It's a neat little magnetic base on there that will just take your charging thing right to it. You don't have to worry about plugging it in. Just like that, plug it in USB port and she'll start plugging. It'll register red, and when it's fully charged, it'll go green. So that is neat in one way. And another way, I wish they would just go to, never mind having a proprietary charging piece here. So if I have this, if I leave this at home, my light's with me, and this dies, I'm hooked. Unless I can pull this battery out and charge the battery somehow. With just this, I need that. It'd be nice to see a USB type C or a USB mini, micro USB, maybe in the bottom that you can cover up. I would like to see that. So this magnetic base here, as you can see at the bottom, is not just the charging unit is magnetic. The base is magnetic in itself. And it's a really, really good, heavy, solid magnet. I'm not too concerned about that magnet at all. Here, I'm just going to have a little drink of water there, folks. All right. Get the radio voice back. Okay. Now, let's go over some of the other features. Now, this comes with a head unit, so you can use this hands-free, and I think it's great. Like I said, I had a busted pipe, and I had just gotten this light, and I needed to kind of go up into my cupboard, and I'll leave a picture here, as you can see. There's a picture of kind of the broken pipe, and I used this to fix it, and this was wonderful. This was so nice. So now you can take this off. This is clips on there, and you can also take this off. That's the way it's going to fit inside this head unit a lot better. If you don't need to take it off, I'm going to actually put this on there with the both these installed, and it's a little bit harder. It's not the end of the world. You'd probably want to use it without it, but just for brevity's sake, I'm going to leave this on there, okay? So, especially with the little clip here, you can see that the clip, you can get the clip to kind of clip inside here if you want. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Then it'll clip back inside there, or you can just run it straight in there. And that's what I'm going to do for now, because this is some nice pliable. I'm not sure what this is, this rubber, but it's really handy. And then that just pops down there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to the other camera, and we're going to put this on the head. Okay. All right, so look at that. I know Bob's your uncle. So I'll take that and I'll just tuck that in there. Okay. As you can see, it fits really nice. Now this head strap is adjustable through the top strap here, and it also is adjustable here in the back. So you can, if your head is, bigger than mine or smaller than mine, if you're a fat head or a pinhead or anything in between, you'll be covered with this. Now, I use this for my roof, and I just took it and I just kind of put it up like that. As you can see, it's kind of pointing up, and I didn't have to crane my neck to look at it. I could just kind of click the light on, and I was good. It was shining out there perfect. If I want to use this for a little bit more spelunking, just like that, then it's handy dandy. I can go completely straight, and if I want to do a little bit of life spelunking, it's there too as well. And I tried it out, and it just, I don't know if it's a mood killer or what, but I thought that this would be pretty damn sexy to my wife, but it wasn't. It was not a good idea to. Surprise! I got a light. I ended up getting quite a good talking to, and it killed the mood, but it worked really well. The light worked really well, especially in the 5 lumen mode. Perfect. Anything brighter, then it's like just forewarn your wife, don't do what I did. Okay, but so it is a little on the heavy side to be kind of playing sports with it, but if you're just doing some work and you can tighten this band up a little bit, still think it's all right. But if you're going to be doing some crazy sports, probably wouldn't be the headlight that I would do with it, or running. unless you've got it really tightened in there really good, the running, it's a little heavy to be kind of say jogging with. All right, so that just gives you kind of an idea, but still, I think it's incredibly handy to have this as a headlight. So let's finish up at the top, at the tabletop, guys. Okay, so just to give you kind of an idea to the size, this here is a Nightcore Concept 2 light, which is 6,000 lumens, big heavy duty light. And then of course you've got like a little keychain light, which is a Nightcore TUP or TUP. That gives you an idea of the size. If you stick around to the end of the video, I have a little flashlight kind of flash off between these two at the end. It's not, I just basically went outside at night. I showed the difference between this TUP and this Perun 2 and what the actual real life throw is and what the light is. Doing some reading, there were some folks who reviewed this and complained about he didn't like the color of the light, and I just didn't really get what he meant. I mean, it was a nice bright white light and it shone for a long time. It wasn't a real directional light too. It's a really nice big wide floodlight. So that's the one thing that I thought was excellent on this. At the real high volume or the high intensity light, this was a really nice big flood. And all right, so there we go. Now I'm going to grab the directions here because we'll kind of go over how the light actually works. It is a little bit I don't know. One of the things that I think is absolutely excellent about this top light is the fact that you've got yourself a tiny little screen. Tells you how much is left on here, tells you what level you're at. You've got one on and off button, you've got one button that changes modes. Incredible design. Here you've got one button on top, no little screen whatsoever. The only thing that tells you that this thing needs to be charged is the fact that there's a little vibration unit inside here. And when it first comes, it's not charged so much. I think when you get less than 20% of your light, it starts to give you a little bit of a vibration. And it's not crazy annoying. It's enough that it goes, bzz, and just tells you, oh, it's time to charge this light. I wish that they could find a way to put a little tiny screen on there somewhere. And then I think you've got something a little bit more, because I have to say that these buttons here and the way that they set it up here, the directions is, I mean, it's straightforward when you're reading it, but you don't always have these with you, and it's got some features here that are kind of a little bit difficult to access. Like there is a timer on here. There's 2 different timers, so you can set it for 3 minutes it'll run and then it'll shut off, or 9 minutes and then it'll shut off, which can be extremely handy, but the way you kind of go about it is a little bit more difficult than straightforward. Okay, so a couple of the really straightforward directions are, if you want to go to your lowest mode, which is your Moonlight Mode is not going to be in your 4 levels all the time. It's something that you have to specially access, and that's by basically pressing and holding it down for 2 seconds, and now you're in your Moonlight Mode. Okay, turn it off, and if you just turn it on, you're in your Moonlight Mode again. Okay, there you go. So now, if you want to go to your next mode, turn it on, press and hold. So now you've got your 30 lumen mode. Okay, if you want to go to your next mode, 120 lumens, press and hold. Now you're 120 lumens. Next, now you're at your 500 lumens. And now if you press and hold, you go back down to 30 lumens. So it's kicked the 5 lumen right out of there. So now you've got 30, 120, 500, back down to 30. So your 5 lumen and your maximum 2500 to 800 lumens are not in your regular rotation. You have to access them with specific things. So now let's go to your turbo. You can access your turbo right off the bat here. You double click your turbo and then you double click it to turn it off. So double click real quick. There's your turbo. There, then it drops down, off. Okay, so that's how. And now I guess you can get to your turbo mode anywhere. So you turn on. There you go. Double click it, back off. All right, so that's how you get to your turbo mode. Now, to lock out, you basically press and hold for 2 seconds, and then it'll flash, and then it'll tell you it's locked out. And when it's in that place, you basically press it, your light turns on. As soon as you let your finger off, the light shuts right off. That's your lockout mode. Okay. Now, to get to your timer, has a long 9-minute timer and a short 3-minute timer when the light needs to be automatically turned off. Okay, when the flashlight is on, double click and hold the switch under the current brightness level to access the timer settings. A single blink accesses the short timer, while 2 blink accesses the long timer. The flashlight will automatically turn off when the timer is up. After the timer is set, double click and hold the switch to shift the timer settings. When the timer is up and the user is about to enter the timer again, the light will return to the last timer setting. I'm not going to do that because it takes a little bit of time, but it does have that. To me, it's just a little bit confusing to kind of remember off the top of my head. And once you maybe do it 3 or 4 times or a couple of times, you may have it. If this is your only flashlight and you memorize that, then that's fantastic. But when you've got this flashlight, you've got this flashlight, I've got this flashlight, I've got another one that's in my pocket here, this flashlight, I've got another one that's in my bag, another 2 of them that are in my bag. So I mean, like I said, it's a little bit kind of off the top of your head to remember all of that stuff. Just would be nice to have a little screen to tell you a lot of those things. Now you can, one of the things I like about this is the fact that you could just turn it on or off, and there's no of that SOS or strobe function within your regular functions of light. So you've got 30, 120, 500 off. You've got those 3 settings with your Moonlight and your Turbo, and there's no SOS setting in there or strobe, but you can access that if you want, and that is simply by triple clicking it. 1, 2, 3. There. So there you go. 1, 2, 3. So that is the way to access your SOS if you need to, by triple clicking it. I like that feature a lot. All right. So would I recommend getting this light? Absolutely. I think this is a great little light. It does have some, it's got some positive, it's got some negatives. The positives are really, really bright, big battery, lasts forever. Love the color on it. So far it's been really tough. I've dropped this for, I've had some pretty big drops onto some laminate hardwood floor. No issues with it. It's really tough. It's waterproof. The magnetic base is excellent. The fit and finish is tremendous. The weight is great. I recommend this wholeheartedly. It does have a little bit of things it can do. The interface is a little bit confusing. I wish that this lanyard here, despite it being a nice lanyard, I'll use it all the time, I wish it was a little easier to come on and off without having that little hook on it. Just that's kind of a little bit of a bug. One thing I did forget to mention here is you do have this little spot here, this little half moon, that is actually a proximity sensor. So if you do have this thing on turbo and you press something out close to it, it'll read the fact that there's a reflection in there and it'll turn itself down, because if it's in your pocket and it turns out so bright, it can burn you or start a fire. It can get quite hot. So this will turn itself down as a little bit of a safety measure. That is a real positive, a real bonus. What would I rate this light? I'd rate this light probably a 8 out of 10. It's right up there. I mean, like I said, a little bit of confusing interface and a little bit heavy, say, for perhaps a sports or jogging with the headlight. But other than that, I think this is fantastic. I definitely would recommend one of these. No problems whatsoever. I think you should pick one up. All right, and I think you should pick one up off of Tim on Kijiji. All right, so thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to stay tuned for at the end of this. You can see your little shine off between the Tup and the Perun 2 at the end of this. So have yourself a wonderful day. Stay safe. Keep your stick on the ice. The shine side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios. All right. Hey, this is the Big Canucker with our test here at night with our new Perun 2 Purple Edition, Special Edition. So what I'm going to do is kind of compare it with a Nightcore TUP, which is a fairly bright little light, and this will just give you an idea. So you can see those lights way off in the distance. I got to say that is probably 250, 300 yards away. It's a school. We're out in an open field. All right, so what we're going to do is, so we have our little TUP, and here is the 1 lumen, which you can barely see. And turn turn that off. 1 lumen. Here we go. Now this is 15 lumens on the night core. And then of course we have got the 200 lumens here, which lights up fairly decent. And then of course if we hold it down, here's 1000 lumens. Here's the turbo on the night core. So now what we're going to do is compare that to the Perun 2. And let's shut that off. She's darn cold here. It's all right. So the Perun 2, hold it down for 1 second, and that gives you what's called a Moonlight Mode, which is 5 lumens, and that'll last quite a bit, quite long. So now let's hold it down again. And here is the next level, which is 30 lumens. Nice beam here too as well. Hold it down some more, and then we've got 500 lumens. So this is the 500 lumens. So, throwing a kind of a decent, it's more of a flood than it is actually a straight out beam. And then let's do it one more time. And here's the 800 lumens, which is fairly bright. And then of course the big turbo 2500 lumens. And there you can see it lights up the entire field. And you can see that fence down there, that white fence is probably almost, I would say 175 yards to 200 yards down there. So they say the main throw is 166 meters. And you can see that it is not just a long throw, it is a flood too as well. All right, so let's shut that off. We'll make our way back to my house, and hey, and thanks very much.